Part 4. We took an early afternoon train to Leatherhead. On the way, Holmes told me how he had spent the rest of his morning tracking down a copy of Mrs. Roylott's will. She had 1,110 when she died. Only about 750 were left. Each daughter, if she married, could claim 250. If both got married, Dr. Roylott would have a big drop in his income. When we reached Stoke Moran, Miss Stoner hurried to greet us. "We've had the pleasure of meeting your stepfather," said Holmes. He told her what had happened after she left us. The poor lady turned pale with fright. "Good heavens!" she cried. "What will he do to me when he returns?" "Don't worry," said Holmes. We won't let any harm come to you. For now, we have work to do. Let me see those rooms." The old building was made of stone. There was a high central section with two curved wings, like the claws of a crab on each side. In one wing, the windows were broken and blocked with wooden boards, and the roof looked half caved in. The other wing looked much nicer, with blinds on the windows and smoke curling up from the chimneys. Scaffolding at the end showed where repairs were being made, but no workers were in sight. Holmes walked up and down the lawn in front of this wing, carefully examining the windows. "This," he said, pointing, "is your room. The middle one, your sister's, and the one next to the main building is Dr. Roylott's?" "Yes," said Miss Stoner, "but I'm sleeping in the middle one now." "So I understand," said Holmes. "By the way, I see no urgent need for repairs at that end of the wall." "Neither do I," said she. "I think it's an excuse to force me from my room." "Ah," said Holmes. "Are there any windows in the hall opposite these rooms?" "Yes, but they're too small for anyone to climb through. You both locked your doors at night, so no one could have entered from that side anyway," said Holmes. "Now please go to the middle room and bar the shutters." She did so. Holmes tried to force the shutters open from the outside, but could not. He took out his magnifying glass and studied the hinges. "All solid," he said. "Nothing could come in this way. Let's look inside." The room where Miss Stoner was now sleeping, once her sister's, seemed remarkable. It was a small room with a low ceiling and a large fireplace, like those in many country houses. There was a chest of drawers in one corner, a narrow bed in another corner, and a small table just left of the window. 2 chairs and a carpet in the middle of the floor were the room's only other furnishings. Holmes pulled a chair and sat silently gazing around the room. "Where is the bell?" he asked, pointing to a thick bell rope hanging loose to the bed, so close that its tasseled end touched the edge of the pillow. "In the housekeeper's room. The pull was put in a couple of years ago." "Your sister asked for it?" "No, she never used it." "It seems unnecessary to put such a nice bell there, then," said Holmes. "Excuse me a moment." He got out his magnifying glass again and crawled about on his hands and knees, examining every inch of the floor and walls. Then he went to the bell pull and stared at it. Finally, he grabbed it and tugged. "It's a fake," he said. "It's not attached to a wire, just to a hook-up near that little air vent." "How absurd," said Miss Stoner. "I never noticed that before." "Very strange," said Holmes. "There are some very curious things about this room. First, why would the builder put an air vent in a wall that goes to another room, when he could put it to an outside wall? That vent is new, too. It was put in around the same time as the bell rope," said Miss Stoner. "Interesting changes," said Holmes. "Bell pulls with no bells, vents that don't ventilate. Now, let's go to see what your stepfather's room looks like." Dr. Roylott's room was larger than his stepdaughter's, but as plainly furnished. A small bed, a wooden shelf full of books, an armchair by the bed, a plain wooden chair against the wall, a round table, and a large iron safe. Holmes walked around the room, examining everything with keen interest. "What's in here?" he asked, tapping the safe. "Only papers," said Miss Stoner. "I saw inside it once, years ago." "There wasn't a cat in it?" Holmes asked her. "What a strange idea," said the lady. "No, we don't have a cat. Only the cheetah and the baboon." "Well, a cheetah is just a big cat," said my friend. But this little saucer of milk on the floor wouldn't satisfy it. He studied the chair, especially its seat. Then something else caught his eye. A small dog's leash hanging on the corner of the bedpost. It was curled up and tied with one loop at the end. What do you make of this, Watson?" said Holmes. "It's a common dog leash," I said, "but I don't see why it's tied like that." Then it's not so common, is it? And there's no dog." "Ah me, it's a wicked world, Miss Stoner. You must listen carefully and do exactly as I say." "I will," she said. "When your stepfather comes back, pretend that you have a headache and stay in your sister's room. We'll be watching from outside. When you hear him turn in for the night, open the shutters, unlock the window, and put a lamp there to signal us. Then lock yourself in your old room. Watson and I will spend the night in your sister's room and investigate this odd noise." "Do you know what happened to my sister?" she said. "I think so, but I need proof," Holmes told her. "Be brave and follow my instructions. All will be well."